I used to have this little YouTube channel, and you know what? It was the most successful I had ever gotten anything that I've tried online. Like the thing that I've had the most success with. And growing up in the early to mid 2000s, creating online is something I always wanted to do. It had always been a dream of mine. But you know, it's weird because this is the first time I actually had that going for me, and I actually had an active community and consistent viewers, something that I've always wanted to have. But why, when it was going well for me, did I stop and kind of like give up? Honestly, I fell completely out of love with the niche that I was doing. It was something that really I only had like a slight interest in. What really got me into wanting to do that niche was that it was a new thing, and I kind of knew that if I just started now making videos on it, it would probably do well, even if they're not great. But the reason why I bring this up is because that YouTube channel is still out there. I found myself yesterday watching the videos back, and it was about 3 years ago now, so I was around 18, and you know, when being a teenager, I didn't speak very clear, very mumbly, but that's something that I've kind of always been insecure about. But it was like in these videos, I didn't show my face, but I did speak. The whole video was speaking. It was about gaming, pretty much, gaming. And yeah, my voice in this video was so clear, and just I was very passionate about it, even though I didn't really have a passion for it. But I was able to speak so clearly and with so much knowledge. It just kind of evoked feelings in me of, wow, I was kind of doing really good. I felt like I was so much better then. And you know, since 17, I'd always been trying to, you know, be better every day, be better than I was yesterday, always improve in every aspect. So to see that from 3 years ago when, you know, I was 18, it kind of, it's not a nice feeling to feel like I've gotten worse. But you know what, the one thing is, like, back then, I never showed my face because I knew that I was way too scared to do that. It wasn't until like not even a year ago when I decided to show my face on the internet. You know, like, people don't understand it's a very vulnerable thing, and you've got to have a pair of balls, not literally but metaphorically, because obviously anyone can do it. But you've got to put yourself out there is very fearless. So just in that alone, like, I have come a very long way. So I know to not give in to them thoughts like I was doing better then. I know for a fact that I wasn't, because I'll tell you another thing. I also found pictures from 2023 when I was 18, and there was this picture from a night out, and I was like, wow, I feel like I haven't looked that good since. You know, I had a very skinny frame, so therefore my face was somehow even more chiseled. But you know, these are just kind of cosmetic things on the shell. I'm not too worried about that. And also, it's not true, because I'm way more happier with how I look now than what I was back then, and I know that for a fact. Just talking about the shell of the human body, like, I know how I was also feeling inside back then at age 18. I was very unhappy, and especially unhappy with myself. For the majority of my teenage years, I was not happy with myself. I was really not comfortable in my own skin. Also, back to when I was 18, I was very naive, very delusional, very stupid. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was just trying things and having this delusional kind of hope that things would just work out. And you know, now that I'm a little bit older, I don't think it's wrong to be that way, to have that kind of like delusion in a good way that things are just gonna work out. It is a good way to think. I do still have that mindset, but back then it was complete blind delusion, and I was just expecting things to work for me, which physically, logically, in every way wouldn't work. So I was just kind of blindly dreaming. But back into regards of my old YouTube channel. I was speaking much clearer and more emphasis on all my words and with much more knowledge, because I would spend hours researching what I was talking about. And I think the thing that killed it for me was that I was putting in so much effort to something that I didn't even enjoy doing. I didn't enjoy it. Like, even though content creation was kind of like my kind of thing that I always wanted, in that particular field, I really didn't have an interest in it. I was just forcing it and kind of being someone that I'm not. So yeah, I speak a little less clearer and a little bit less organized, but that's because when I make these videos, they're straight from the heart. I do always journal things, and that's how I get the ideas for the videos and come up with a lot of points. But I don't write a script, and I don't spend hours researching something I'm not interested in. If I ever need to research something, of course I do. You know, talking about consciousness and spirituality, sometimes it does require a bit of research. You know, if people are gonna trust and believe what you're saying, you want to be truthful and you want to be right. It does suck, because it's like, if we're not comparing ourselves to other people, we're comparing ourselves to our past selves. And it's like, when does it stop? When can we just live our life as ourselves, be ourselves, excel at our own life, and stop comparing? Who even invented that fucking word? If you ever do feel that way, like you were way better back then, way more disciplined, just remember, like, it's just a feeling. You know, we're always looking for that summit, trying to reach it, but the path to the summit is never straightforward and up. You've always got to go down to go up, and all things that go up go down, and to go up, it's got to go down. Same thing. Like, the reality is, it's so hard to see progress, because like, real progress is so slow and minuscule. But when you know that you've tried and failed many, many times, whether it's in life, business, sports, anything, but have learned so much, you realize how much bigger, stronger, and wiser you've become. And that is like the real level of progress that is just not seen by the human eye. Unless you actually do like progress checks and check in with yourself every once in a while. And if you do that, you'll really see how far you've come, and it's quite amazing to see. But like day-to-day checks, like looking in the mirror every day, analyzing yourself every day, it looks like shit ain't changed, but I mean, we're always evolving whether we're doing stuff or not. I mean, that's the great thing. Any kind of real progress as well cannot be made overnight. Like, real progress is a long-term thing. To become strong, to become courageous, to become great, it takes a long, long fucking time. So long. And that's why a lot of people don't make it, because they're not willing to be patient that long. They're not willing to stay in the game that long. But when you do, patience is rewarded. You know, they say the universe loves a stubborn heart. You know, the truth of it is, like, maybe there was a period where we had more hope, better values, maybe was more disciplined, but that is literally the way of life. That's just how it is. We're always going up and down. And sometimes getting knocked down or being in what feels like a much less of a position, or even like you're back to square one. It's just the way it feels. So just remember, we are forever reaching that summit. It's just that sometimes the path has to take us down to go up. And that's life. And you know what, for the record, if I ever saw my 18-year-old self again, if I ever met him in person, I would knock that brick so hard into next year, he would be 19. Just remember, we're forever going up. We just have to go down sometimes first. Peace and prosperity, your way.